But I just put the recording on again. But wouldn't
Yeah.
that be wouldn't be that the logical reason? Kind of, I mean, the nature is working against us. I mean, maybe Meir Shurim guys should allow some influx with other people. They don't for religious, philosophical considerations, but it causes a lot of medical issues. So what's wrong with it?
I mean, instead of just trusting in Hashem, trusting in God, that it's all going to be okay.
Well, you have three doctors now, Jonathan, Reuven, and Bob. Bob, you're just getting, the question was, one of the controversy about the law is because not only hereditary issue came up, but also the law of return. And I was just telling the guys that my cousin's husband, who is not Jewish, said, well, of course, we have, even pragmatically speaking, we have to get non-Jewish people in, because look all the genetic diseases we have. I forget the name of them. You guys doctors know the name of the diseases.
There is enough genetic variety between the Sephardim, the Ethiopians, everybody else. I don't think we have to worry about importing goyim to.
I don't think so. But
if somebody wants to become a Jew and convert according to Orthodox, standards, by all means.
But Jonathan just could not answer the question why Meir Shurim guys, Jonathan, if I read him correctly, the 15 million is still a lot of things not to have genetic mutations. But when you narrow it down to Meir Shurim area, when they don't want and I don't disagree with them, if they want to do it the way they do, it's fine. But a lot of mutations among those people, is there something wrong with it? I mean, if you see people in Meir Shurim, a lot of genetic mutations, when you say, listen, guys, you have to just get fresh blood coming, otherwise you all have 2 heads and 5 legs.
That's not our choice, and that's none of our business.
Well, it's not my business for sure, but I'm just wondering, it's happening. Is anything wrong with that?
What wrong? What do you mean by wrong?
Why there's so much problem health-wise, genetically, with the Meir Shurim guys? I mean, I wish it didn't.
Are there that many genetic problems? I don't know.
But you understand, you said there are.
He said they look weird.
What I said was walk through Mea Shearim and see how many people really do look strange, and they look as though they've got a lot of expression of recessive genes. That's what I said.
If you want my answer, Bob, I see you're going to open your mouth. Go ahead. Bob,
I was going to say that we have obligations laid out for us in Torah, who we can marry, who we can't marry, what it is to be a Jew. If there's genetic issues to be dealt with, we have to deal with them medically, but we can't deal with them by saying that we should intermarry or that we should do averas. I hear what you're saying. Genetic discussion. Well, you're saying that we don't have enough variability in our genome, but discussions of genes are very dangerous, and we should not base our behaviors or who we are on this kind of a discussion. There are 7,000 orphan diseases, genetic diseases. Many of them are based in the Ashkenazi Jewish community, and the answer to that problem is we have to alleviate people's suffering. We have to do medical research, but we shouldn't go out and say that all Jews should marry Goyim and Judaism, Chas v'Shalom, should disappear because of genetic issues. That's not how we should approach it.
I agree with it, but my theory, I might be wrong, guy. Just correct me. What do I know? I'm just a weary pilgrim. I'm just thinking maybe the way to do it is maybe God Hashem meant for the what's our law, what's our halacha? Our halacha is the converts are welcome or even non-converts can live in Israel as long as they go by 7 Noahic laws. So maybe the way to do that will not violate halacha. I mean, people come in, they're from other countries, but they convert, they become Jewish. Maybe that's what got to me, and that eliminates genetic issues, and it's also eliminate the religious and philosophical and moral questions.
Yeah, but you can't marry a Noahide. That's forbidden.
But if Noahide converts to a Jew, then you can.
Yeah, that's true. you know, based on all of our discussions up to this point is how do we define modern Israel? What kind of government? What does it have to do with, you know, the end of time? And there's 1,000 different opinions on it. But the basis doesn't change. The land from the Jordan River to the sea is the land of the Jews. And, you know, we have to ultimately let Torah be our guide. You know, whatever our secular government may be, we can't go outside of that basic principle. And I know 50% of Israel disagrees with me, but you know, in the long run, the secular community is losing power little by little in Israel. I'm not saying I support or deny that. It's simply a fact. Am I correct, Lev, in saying that?
Yeah. You know, I wish David, what's his name? David Jonathan, he's from Naria. He was, as I understood from our WhatsApp conversation, David was taking, like, if you will, on the right position, like, no, Jan was, and David was saying that, you know, Netanyahu is a criminal and he can wait. I'm just joking. He's going to hang him. He sent a note that his daughter was coming to town. He couldn't attend, but I wish he was there. Well, I would want to know the devil's advocate position to state, like it says, Netanyahu and his gang, they're trying to change the system. They're trying to take the ultimate power, the only hope we have, Supreme Court. And I wish the basis on which he'll say, anybody can play devil's advocate and see, plays the other side, how the Knesset is out of line and trying to shut down the gags the court. The only thing we'll hope in order to get some checks and balances. Can you play the devil's advocate position, somebody?
I think that we have a situation. There were too many different things are coming in here now. I was tired of Bibi and one of the people who voted him out several years ago, and I voted for him this time not because I liked Bibi, is because I didn't see a viable alternative. I would not like to see the prime minister of Israel and any prime minister grab power, just as I don't want to see Trump grabbing power. I don't want to see that, because what we're talking about is having an even balance of government between the legislature and the executive and the judiciary. That's the way it is in the States. And what they're trying to do in Israel is trying to achieve a bit better balance, because the judiciary has taken for itself far more power than it should have, and the balance is lost. The left is saying that Bibi wants all the power, he wants to be king. I don't necessarily agree with that position, but I think what we all are looking for is some balance in what's happening.
Howard, do you have something to say to that? You're still real. It's your second session. You can see that, you know, we're like a ruthless gang here, you know, no mercy. What do you think?
And none of us knows what we're talking about either. So
I don't.
And also, nobody ever listens to us anyway.
Howard, go ahead.
I'm learning.
Okay, that's a waste of wisdom, you know.
I'm not contributing yet.
No, you're contributing a lot just by being here. It is contribution. Bob, also the quick question, maybe offline. Like, you guys come back to the top topic if I'm off. You mentioned that in our some comments about the structure, like our 40 minutes. You know, 40 minutes is good because it makes you present things not like I do, not to be as verbose and mumbling all over the place. Be a little more concise to the point, which is a problem I always have. And every time we're biking with Ruben always tells left, shut up, you're speaking too much. So from a format standpoint, Bob, you suggested maybe that there's a time and how a person speaks, I mean, like 5 minutes conversation, and other words, like some kind of better monitoring of the discussions. That's what you're talking?
What I was suggesting that that Lev, you should be a moderator. You are the moderator, but that as such, you should help people to be concise in their comments so that nobody dominates and everybody can get in different opinions.
Okay, and I'm the one to start first with. I have to make sure
you have to be the one with the whip, and if someone misbehaves, you have to administer makos.
I can't imagine. We don't have Sanhedrin yet. That's when it's Sanhedrin to get. I can't wait for Sinai to come to a place because I want Marcus. I have so many sins that if not for Marcus, I'm in big trouble. So I need to get Marcus. So I get 39, I will take even 40. I wouldn't even blame them if you give me one extra.
You know what's funny, Leib? When I know we're discussing all these things about Israel, but any Israeli I talk about, like the man in the street, they all say they don't care. Everyone in Israel is just busy trying to survive and get by in their own life.
They're trying to solve, but you know, for the preparation for our discussion, David, we don't see, we see the UCAM logo there. I printed
Yes, I know.
I printed the Israeli Constitution. And I always thought, yeah, Ben Gurion, Golda Meir, all this Zionists, natives. As I read it, I find it's a lot of God. It's not explicitly, but God is all over. Even the dates are in 5,783, not January.
Leib, I thought Israel has no constitution.
Yeah.
But Declaration of Independence. I was reading this. You guys should download it. Israeli Declaration of Independence. And then there's an introduction comment to this. And it says that those laws that have been mentioned, the two laws, actually there's 11 of them, became informal constitution. It's not ratified, but there's a laws of constitution that would have been enacted if Knesset would vote for that. So there is something that they bounce against and tell Knesset you're out of line.
Okay.
Am I right, David?
Yeah, sorry for disappearing. I tried desperately to unshare the screen, and that has ended up with me disappearing completely, but I did it on purpose. So, okay. So I'll be without a camera for now. It would be better technically, so sorry for that. But
you can try to because I don't think your screen is shared anymore because we're now a new session. So
yeah, I know.
Okay.
Like I said, again, these are fundamental laws. They're not constitution. David Ben-Gurion did not want to create a constitution because, and Lev, you're going to like it, because the people of Israel do not need a constitution. That's what David Ben-Gurion said. David Ben-Gurion said that the people of Israel do not need a constitution because they have the Torah. However, he hated religion. And he did not see any connection of actually, technically running the country according to the Torah. That's not what they had in mind. There was the
Contradictory guy. He ended his life practicing Buddhism. He's a strange,
Is that really true? Is that really true?
Did you guys go to his museum in Bokek?
No.
If you want to his, I was there. I was shocked. Personally, I came in his museum. It's a house. He retired in kibbutz, south of Beersheba, right? And this kibbutz, you walk into his home where he lived with his wife. There's a Torah. There's a full set of Talmud. It's recreated like he lived there. Torah, Talmud, and he studied that continuously.
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. There's an entire Talmud in the office of the Minister of Justice. It doesn't mean anything. It's a symbol. It's a symbol. The symbol of the state of Israel is the menorah. Okay, so where's the temple?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a symbol. It's our symbol. It's a national symbol. Okay, you don't take it so heavily.
Okay,
it's just a symbol.
Guys, I know you had a chance to see on the WhatsApp. I sent 10 questions, and interestingly, in our discussion, we answered all 9 of them. And the one I said, good question. I mean, this is probably good for maybe I can say Jonathan's brain will boil immediately. And the question is, which law do you personally feel is unlawful as far as you know it, but you still would prefer it remains in force? Which law that you know exists in Israel is, in your opinion, unlawful? It's not a lawful law, but I like it.
That's a very Jewish question. That's the most Jewish question I've ever heard.
Are you just asking general question, Leif?
And I give you an example. There is a law. This is just my personal opinion, and I can be wrong, but I tend to agree with myself. Okay, my personal thing is the influx of non-Jews in Israel should be limited. We should be only the Jewish state. Okay. So I'm against it. But on the other hand, I On one hand, I like when the government is more to the right, religiously or politically, it's just my personal opinion. But I personally preferred the government we had before, even with the Arabs and even with the left, because I feel that everybody should be represented. Because, in my opinion, after living in Israel for quite a few years, Israelis hard time to reach a consensus. It's always a fight. In other words, for that sense, I see a lot of problem in America. But one thing I like about America, Americans would say this: if Bob wants 100 and I 50, let's make it 75 and move on. But Israelis fight. I want 100 and you 50. And we'll fight. I think either I'll kill you, you'll kill me. So by having this consensual government, I personally feel so. It's not lawful, probably, but I like it. This is not a good example, but this is what I wonder if you, maybe David, you can say, because you know the laws of Israel better than us.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't. I'm not that knowledgeable. Uh, I'm sorry. But I don't agree with your attitude.
Okay.
I think that, yeah.
And here comes burning on the stake. Go ahead, David.
Yeah.
David, if we go back, Lev, if we go back to David, to King David and the early kings, all the kings had to write a Sefer Torah for themselves. They all had to rule or paskin by Torah. And whatever role Torah plays in Israel, whether you believe in it, don't believe in it, whether it rules your life, whether you read it once every 10 years, the bottom line is it has to be in the back of everyone's mind. And in that sense, a Jew cannot be judged by a non-Jew. An Arab has no right to be on the Supreme Court. A non-Jew has no right to be on the Supreme Court. And a non-Jew cannot judge a Jew. A Jew has to be judged by a righteous Jew.
No,
and that's the way Israel should be run.
But Supreme Court, I agree with you. But I'm talking about in the government. I think Arabs are here. They have, because government is secular government. I want not them to be involved from the Torah standpoint, but for government, if they decide which bridge or lake or street to build in the town, I think they should have a voice to do that. But if they decide
the Arabs can be, the Arabs can be a protected minority, and I have no right to tell Israelis how to live. I live in Georgia in the United States, but I see it as a Jewish state. It is the land of the Jews, and people who accept their role as a kindly community towards the Jews have a right to stay. Those who don't accept the sovereignty of the Jews should be sent out. This goes back to the land of Canaan. That's the way it should be.
Okay, I like that. I like your view better than mine.
I totally agree with Bob. I totally agree with. By the way,
his example. This is not my law, but I like Bob's law better than mine. Okay. Yeah. On a scale 1 to 10, I view my view about 4, and yours at about 9.
Go. Bye, everyone. See you next week.
No, we'll go. No, we're not cutting yet. Oh, Bob has to go. Okay. Yeah, I thought
Bob, Reuven.
No. I think he has to go. Yeah, he has to go.
I just wanted to say, Bob, that one of the things, there's been in the last week or so, there's been all these businessmen, bankers, high-tech companies, everybody, major people in the economy, both in Israel and outside of Israel, saying that they are worried about the actions that Yariv Levin wants to do according to the Supreme Court, and to bring back, to take out the Aaron Barak system of interpretation. They call it the revolution, right? The legal revolution, and they're already threatening. They're already threatening, saying, companies will take their money out of Israel. Companies will not want to invest in Israel. The shekel is going to become very weak. There's going to be an inflation. The Israeli economy is going to be so, is going to be devastated. It's going to be so very difficult for the Israeli people to live. These are not just, we're worried. These are actual threats, at least as far as I see it. Maybe you see it differently. But I see it as threats. Like, don't do this. Don't make your country more Jewish than it is. It's one of those things, because one of the things that this government wants to do is also to adjust the Chok HaShvut, the law of return, to take down the paragraph of that talks about the grandchildren of Jews,
So to narrow
and
it
that would
down,
make,
right?
yeah, narrow it down. So less non-Jews, according to halacha, non-Jews will be able to immigrate to Israel as Jews with the rights of Jews, and get all the rights and privileges they have in the first like 2 or 3 years. Some money and some kind of a pension and help in all sorts of areas of life. And they don't like it. It's a threat to them. A Jewish state that where the people know that they're Jews and they have Jewish values and they have some respect to their religion. I'm not talking about being ultra Orthodox, but their idea of a Jewish state is like they cannot accept it. This is a
But,
war. This is a war on Judaism from both sides. Those who are for Judaism and those who are against it. That's what it is. That's what I realized to come that it is.
what do you think, guys?
The question of, and I don't want this word to be misunderstood, but the question of purity, do we have a Jewish state, goes all the way back to Bavel, to Babylonia, and to Ezra. And when Ezra came back to Israel, it was a top issue on his mind. Who should be brought back to Israel? How do we keep it as a Jewish state? And, you can all read, the book of Ezra and get the information, but this is a very, very old discussion. And I think if we look at our scriptures, Nevi'im, we look at Ezra and attitudes going back to when we were in Babylonia, the issue is it is our goal and our desire to create a state of Jews. And all Jews are welcome. And, Ezra brought mamzers back and chalim and all sorts of Jews that, descendants of Mitzrayim and Jews that were in all sorts of categories. But the bottom line is it was all for the Jews. And I don't see any reason why this discussion should change after 2,000 years. It's the same principle. It's a state for the Jews. Others who are willing to live peacefully here can live, but it is what it is. You got plenty of non-Jewish states in the world, and Israel is a very tiny place. It's our land. In fact, the Jews don't even own the land. The land is owned by Hashem. That's the bottom line. The land of Israel is not even owned by us.
Yeah.
It's beyond our ability to change what is.
Bob, I have to say,
This is the first Rashi on the Torah.
Russian. But I have to agree with both Bob and David what you said, and also I was thinking of this, and now I have this idea. After we did this chart, like David and I created a chart based on David essentially educated me on, and I was thinking, when you think about it, we have a secular, back to our chart, we have a secular government fundamentally, and God is kind of still has connection with people, and the way I saw it after I look at the chart is as a secular government. Within secular government, there's a religious and non-religious people. In our Knesset, there are people with a kippah and the people without kippah. So within them, the religious portion is willing to work within existing laws, within the laws put together by the Declaration of Independence, by the Zionists, by non-religious people. Within that, we're still willing to negotiate.
By the Knesset.
By the Knesset, yes. But fundamentally, I think, David, you mentioned something. Fundamentally, that conflict essentially is between people who feel Hashem is in charge and between the group that feels, no, we're in charge. I think, David, you mentioned something, between the Jews and Israelis. That's basically, ultimately, to me, the conflict is going on. And maybe it's a healthy thing. That stuff is being, the mixture is separates light and the dark, whichever side the person might be. You can think this is light, and the guy thinks this is light, but I think it separates, and by the boundaries become more clear. As Bob was saying, I personally want to have a state as a Torah meant it to be. And if David sounds like David is, because I talked to him many times, I know David wants to be a king, and have a feeling he's descendant of King David. So if he's going to be king, he certainly takes my support. I'll do what the king says. No problem. I have no problem with that structure. And of course,
As
many
long as
people
he's like
Israel
King
know that.
David, there are plenty of kings who were a little less spiritual than King David was.
But I like David Moran. I will David. I'll present it. I want him to be a king. and he wants to be a king too, he told me.
King David II. That's right. That's right.
No problem. Bob, you can take a position of the Nasi of Sanhedrin, and Jonathan might take position of the Av Beis Din. Harvard will be like a consultant for special affairs. And
wait a minute. Where's the Karaite representative?
Okay, I can take that. I mean, even though I'm not Karaite, but I can take that position.
No, Howard and I will become the king of the Israeli Dental Association.
Yes.
Okay. Guys, for the next time, what the topic for next time? If you want to continue discussing, but I think it's very, very enlightening. That chart to me was good. I mean, I never thought about it. David helped me again. For the next time, what would you like to talk about? Anybody wants to? Bob presented last time. David presented today and a couple of times before. I did my presentation. Howard, Jonathan, would you like, guys, any topic you can think you could like? 14 minutes kickoff, like David did, and then we'll spin off into a discussion and debate without burning on the stake.
I don't think I'm ready for that.
Okay, Jonathan, would you like to?
I don't know enough. I tend to be really dogmatic and arrogant. Without I tend to speak before I put my brain in gear. So
Well,
I'm not the best person.
Yonatan, nobody's being judged. If you want to pick a topic that you enjoy and bring it up, we'll all discuss it. No one's judging.
Well, it's very humbling to say that you're saying I am dogmatic and arrogant. This is humble thing to say. Most people would I wouldn't say about myself. I mean, this is very humble to admit, guys. I'm very verbose and very opinionated, and I know it's my flaws. So maybe next time we talk about flaws, character traits, and how to deal with them. Something like that. Something. What do you think, guys?
Well, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, you Cam 5.
Yes. How many minutes do we have?
We have about 8 minutes, 8.5.
Oh, so we have time. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about it for quite some time. This is nothing that happened yesterday. I think that about Western civilization and the way, like, I see it from my own eyes here in Beersheba, looking outside, the world outside. Western civilization looks like it's going down. And if I try to compare it to the story of the Tower of Babel, maybe, just maybe, this is like we call it in Israel, hafuch al hafuch. You know this term, hafuch al hafuch? It's like, so basically, maybe we should not be panicked about Western civilization going mad with wokeism and all of that, because maybe God wants them to disappear. Maybe it's about their time to disappear. So what do we care? I don't care. I don't care if Germany disappears. I'm saying this really. I don't care if Germany disappears tomorrow morning.
No, but David, we have like 401k pensions fund in America somewhere with all this money to just evaporate. We want to get them to want to have some retirement money.
I personally have a huge resentment to Christian Goyim. I don't have a resentment to Muslim Goyim. I don't have a resentment to Buddhist Goyim. I hate Christianity and I hate Christians. So this is something you need to know about me. When I see a Christian on the street, that's it. I'm not going to say anything anymore. Okay. I don't see a lot of them, thank God, because I live in Israel.
I don't see all of you on that, David. You know that. But listen.
But when I visit Jerusalem or Tel Aviv, I don't want to come back. Okay. So
okay. Back to the topic.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Western civilization going mad?
I just keep on going back to the idea that as long as the silent majority stays silent, the other side wins. win, and they can make huge changes, and we can end up with things like the 1930s in Germany, where for all of the best reasons, the worst things happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that if this is something to do with Hashem's plan to change the world and have things disappear, I just saw a clip, the 5-minute clip from Dennis Prager, PragerU, not from Dennis himself, but the fact that the progressives and the wokes can't laugh at themselves. The idea of mocking stupid ideas is disappearing. And people have to stand up and say, I have a right to be able to laugh at the idea that men can give birth, and not have it legislated that men can give birth.
Yeah, but should we fight the stupidity of the West, or maybe we should just stay silent about it because it's their freaking problem?
You're
It'll be
saying the
ours
video will
soon
collapse
enough.
on its own, right?
The West's problem would be ours soon enough if we stay silent.
All right, guys, listen, it's 4 minutes left, but how about we'll end on this? And since you didn't suggest any ideas, think through the next couple of days to this week. And if you have suggestions, you or you know somebody who might come present us. David said one time you might have a friend, a Karaed guy who might do a presentation. It'll be interesting. So if you have some ideas, just let us know, and we'll do the 14-minute special with that idea.
Yeah,
And
as
I
long as
think
he's
we
not
could-
Christian.
No,
think
not
we
a
might-
Christian. If it's a Christian, I just don't talk to. I can talk to Christians, but not a Jew, not a Christian who used to be a Jew, a Meshumad. I don't talk to Meshumans.
Okay, Bob, what are you saying?
I was going to say, I think we hit on a topic. What is a Jew's role in our society today? You know, what are our obligations, and what should we be active? Should we all go to Israel? Should we be silent? You know, I think it's a lot of good questions here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we can do maybe if somebody wants to lead in that, even if you don't have somebody take the lead, we can just simply discuss it in the format that we discussed right now. Bob, what do you think? Now it's one of the rare occasions when we spill over into the dessert session, as we call it, the second session. Is that okay? Is not too much? Because now we can do it voluntarily. By the end of the session, we'll see how it goes. The benefit of doing only 40 minutes disciplines you to be laconic. But then sometimes not everybody is laconic like me. So we need, it's a plus and a minus. So whichever way we go, I'm fine.
No, I think it's great, and we're in control of the group. We'll do whatever we want.
That's a rule of Perplexed. No rules. Just
Right.
respect another opinion, and that's it. Okay, guys,
Right,
listen.
right.
What's today? Tuesday, so it's still Shavuot Tov. It's Shabbat Shalom. That's interesting. What's halach on this, Bob? You probably tell us. Since I would not see you until Tuesday and next Tuesday, which is past Shabbat, but today is only Tuesday. Should I say Shavuot Tov or Shabbat Shalom?
You know, it's funny, but I get technically Shavuot Tov is on Motzi Shabbos, but people say good Shabbos all the time. I don't think it matters anymore.
No, but I heard
I have-
before Wednesday, Shavuot Tov. After Wednesday, Shabbat Shalom, usually, no?
Okay, Shavuot Tov.
No.
No?
I have an answer. I
Go
think
ahead,
that according to Kabbalah, now on Tuesday you can still say Shavuot Tov. Yeah, you can say Shavuot Tov, and you can still do Havdalah until Tuesday night if you didn't do it on Saturday night.
No,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
but I'm not
Monday
gonna,
night.
but I'm not gonna see. We're not gonna see
Tuesday.
each other until next Tuesday. So if I don't say Shabbat Shalom, how gonna do some Shabbat Shalom for the coming Shabbat for them?
How about just Happy Tuesday?
This is why how neurotic we are. You know, we don't know Shabbat Shalom and Shabbat Tov. It's Tuesday.
I need my
Let's ask
Valium. I need
everybody.
my Valium.
Guys, all good till the next Tuesday at 8 o'clock Israeli time, 1 o'clock US time. Shavuot Tov and Shabbat Shalom. All good.
Okay.
Stay healthy.
Big hug to
Where are you,
everybody.
Bob?
What?
Where are you?
I'm in Alpharetta right now.
So you're back in Atlanta.
Right. I was in New Jersey for the weekend. It was a nice trip, but I'm happy to be back. I'll see you on
So am
Shabbos.
I.
See you guys.
Good. We'll see each other Saturday.
Amen.
Shalom.